Hi, I'm April Plank. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be taking you through a stretch routine that you can be doing at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, anytime that you feel a little tight and you just want a little release. So we're going to start sitting up in crisscross applesauce, sitting up nice and tall. Take a big inhale, let the shoulders go up towards the ears, and then exhale them back and down. Doing that a few more times, reaching the shoulders up and back and down. Taking those big deep inhales through the nose. And you can exhale through the mouth or the nose, your choice. One more time, inhaling, reaching the shoulders up and back and down. And I'm going to hold my knees and just start to kind of rotate my pelvis. So I'm just going to do like a little circular motion. So I'm gliding my rib cage to the left, gliding my rib cage back to the right, and then forward. So I'm just going in one direction for right now, just kind of stirring my pelvis as I go one direction in a big circle, just getting some movement through my ribs. And I like to hold my knees because when I go back, I can kind of round my back and I've got something that I'm holding against so I don't fall backwards. Good, just 3 more here, rolling in one direction. Just getting some movement and stretching through my rib cage. Last one, and then I want you to switch the direction. So you'll just go to the opposite direction. Take your time with this. Wherever you feel a big stretch, you can kind of hang out for a while if you'd like. Just kind of rocking in one direction, rocking off the sitting bones and back onto the left sitting bone and back to the right sitting bone. The main focus here is our breathing, so big deep inhales, big deep exhales. Good, we'll do 2 more in this direction. And then after your last one, you'll come in the very center where you feel grounded through both sitting bones. Take the right arm out to the side, reach the left arm over the head, and just take a nice stretch to that side. Maybe your right elbow drops to the mat, maybe it doesn't. Whatever feels best for you. And then big inhale to come up into the other side. So your left arm comes down, maybe your left elbow finds the mat, you reach the right arm long. And we'll do that several times side to side, just using your breath to find your motion with this really great side stretch for the side of the body. Good. If you feel free to close your eyes if you want, if you kind of want to really tune in and just kind of let go of the rest of your day of what's happening and what's been going on, just close your eyes, tune into your breath. Don't worry about the pace I'm working out, just work at a pace that feels good for you. The next time we're over to the right with the right arm down, your left arm's over your head. I'm going to stay here and just breathe into this left side body. Taking a few breaths as I press my left hip down. And your body will release over time, so we'll hold each pose a few breaths just to let the stretch happen. Now rotating from your waistline, your left pinky finger is going to come to tap the mat, rotating my torso down. And then I'm going to rotate it back up and look to the ceiling through my armpit. Do that again. Rotate down, tap your pinky finger, and rotate up and look to the ceiling through the armpit. One more time, tap down, and look up. Next time you're down, hold it. So we're just going to take it down and hold it. Let your whole head become heavy, assisting you in the side stretch. Feels really good on my whole left side. Start to slowly walk your hands forward, just walking them as far away from as you can. And I like to walk on my tops of my fingers. I'm going to walk to the front and just hold for a second. So I'm going to let my head, my neck, and my shoulders relax to the front. Just find a place where you might be holding into some tension and tightness.
Take your next breath there, and your next out breath, just let that tension go. We'll walk, when you're ready, all the way to the left, continuing all the way to the left side until we're to the left side of the body. Your left hand's going to be on the mat. Your right arm's going to reach up. You're going to look to the ceiling through the armpit. And then turn the torso, rotate your right pinky finger to the floor. So you rotate and turn and look up. Big inhale here. And exhale, rotate and look down. And again, inhale, look up. And you turn your torso towards the mat. One more time, looking up. And then turning to the torso to the mat and holding here. Just let everything soften. Your head, neck, shoulders completely relaxed. Breathing into that right waist, right rib cage, right side of the body. Everything we do today will be in a seated or kneeling position, trying to use as much relaxation as we can and as little muscular energy as we can. When you're ready, walk yourself back to the center. I'm reaching those hands as far away from me as I can as I walk all the way back to the center, and just let my head, neck, shoulders completely relax back to the center. It's a wonderful release in your low back. So send your breath there. When you're ready, you can walk your hands back towards you, sitting up nice and tall. And we'll make our first change of position. So come onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. Wrists in line with your shoulders, knees in line with your hips. You're going to round your back, scoop your abdominals in, take a big exhale into that angry cat position. And with a nice inhale, you'll drop your shoulders away from your ears, arch your back, lift your sternum, and look forward. No need to push it. You don't want to go into too intense of a flexion and extension, just what feels good for you right now. Just working that spine in each direction. Exhaling as you tuck and scoop. And inhaling as you look up and lengthen. Do that one more time. Exhale as you tuck and scoop. Inhale as you look up and lengthen. And then come to neutral. Take your right foot, step it forward between your hands. You're going to sink your hips forward into a lunge. If this is too much on your back knee, you might want to place a pillow or some extra padding under that knee so that it feels comfortable. We're going to stay here if this is enough stretch for you. If you want a little more stretch, you can come a little upright in the chest, taking the hands or the forearms onto the right knee. I'm going to work on firmly pushing my left knee into the mat, tucking my tailbone down and pulling my abs in until I feel really great release in my right hip flexor, which is the front of the right, left hip flexor, which is the front of the left leg. So my left hip flexor is releasing. So I'm sending my breath there. Take your time, slow your breath down. And I'm going to take my left hand to the inside, the big toe side of the foot. My right hand's going to stay on the knee, and I'm just going to rotate my torso and look towards the right, giving myself a little spinal twist. And then I'll come back to the center, take my right hand by my left, and if it's okay for me, I'm going to drop to my elbows. For some of us, that might not feel comfortable. You might need your elbows propped up on something, maybe a pillow or a cushion. And then you can have your hands on the floor and your elbows on a cushion. Now I'm working deep into that hip flexor and into my legs as well, releasing. And then if you're on your elbows, you can make your way up into the hands. And we're going to start to walk your right foot over and take the right hand on the outside of the right foot. I'm going to walk my right foot over so that my right heel is coming closer towards my left hip. And I'm going to come down into what's called Pigeon Pose. So my left heel is by my right heel is by my left hip. So I'm working on stretching my right glute and outer thigh. Now again, if you've got that pillow handy and this is too big of a stretch, put that pillow under your hips and that's going to prop you up. So if you're really high and you're not touching the floor, put something under your hips so that you can ground down a little bit. If you want a little more stretch, you can walk your hands forward. You might come down to your forearms and you might let your head completely release forward. A lot of the times when our glutes and our hips become tight, it can affect our low back. So any kind of low back pain can typically be attributed to a few things, weak abdominals or tight hamstrings, tight glutes, tight outer thighs. Luckily for us, Pilates can fix all of that. Walk your hands back, turn your back toe underneath you, put the weight in the back leg, start to lift your front leg back so you're in your tabletop position. Let's do a little more rounds of the cat and cow. So I'm going to look up, taking a big breath, and then I'm going to round my back and look down, scooping into angry cat. Just working through the full range of motion, flexing and extending my spine. Do one more extension and one more flexion. And in your neutral, and now the left foot's going to come forward. And I will go ahead and turn my right toes underneath me and find my lunge on this side. I'm going to take my left hand on the inside of my left foot. So I've got both hands down. If you want a little deeper stretch, you're going to take both hands up to the knee or forearms to the knee, and you're going to hold here. Remember, if this right knee is bothering you, put a little pad or a pillow underneath it. I'm going to push that knee into the mat, pull my pelvic floor up, arch back slightly to feel this whole release here on the right side. Bring your right hand down. You can keep your left hand on. You're just going to take a little twist towards your leg. And then both hands will come on the inside of the leg. And if you feel comfortable with it, both elbows can come down. If they don't touch the mat, maybe put that small pillow or pad underneath them. And you can let your left knee kind of go a little out to the side, not too much, but it might release a little bit out to the left. I'm going to work myself back up to my hands, bring the left hand on the outside of the leg, walk your left leg over towards your right. So I'm walking my left leg so the heel is going to come close to my right hip bone, and I'm going to lay down into pigeon. So if you are really elevated and this isn't comfortable, put the pad underneath your hips. You want to be able to ground down into something. And if you need more stretch, you're just going to walk yourself forward, elbows onto the mat, head, neck, shoulders, everything relaxed. If you're on your elbows, come up to your hands. You're gonna let your weight go over and to the left till the right leg pops up, and you're gonna bring it all the way around to the front. Bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees open. So we're sitting in this cobbler position or butterfly position. Big inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, you'll hinge forward. So I'm trying to press my chest forward versus round my back. And that's going to keep me stretching. I'm not going to lose my stretch that way. So I'm going to push my chest forward. I'm feeling a nice release in my inner thighs and back. You might even push your elbows into your knees to drive the knees down a little bit. Now you could even take your hands forward and try to pull your hands towards you. And if you've got a sticky mat, you can kind of pull your hands towards you. That'll give you a little traction to press even farther forward, and that feels really good on your back. Make your way all the way up. Bring the knees into the chest with the assistance of your hands. Take your left leg straight, flex your foot, and really ground down through that left leg. I'm going to hold this right leg into me, sit really tall, and start to twist towards it. It's not a big twist, just a little rotation. I'm lifting my sternum, and I'm rotating and looking over my right shoulder. If you want a bigger twist, you can take the right hand behind your back and place it on the mat and twist even deeper. The key with stretching is to work towards your edge, but just not past it. So if you start to go a little bit too deep, your breath will become labored and you're going to be a little bit counterproductive. So your body will start to lock up if it feels that it's overstretching. So just give yourself time and don't try to push it too far or too fast. Release your spine gently to the front. Take your right knee and let it fall open so that you're in a seated tree pose. You're going to turn your torso slightly so it's square over this left leg. Take a big inhale. You can even reach the arms up if you'd like, and then hinge yourself forward. So notice my spine is going to be really, really long. When I've gone as long as I can, I release my hands down, but I'm not rounding myself over the leg. I'm lengthening my sternum forward, and that's going to keep my stretch in the hamstring. I definitely feel a lot more leg here than if I round and release. I kind of lose my stretch. So take your hands on the mat and start to pull your hands towards you, your sternum forward. And then we'll slowly make our way up. Take your right leg long, flex your foot, squeeze the quadricep, pull your left knee into your chest. Hold that left leg tight, take a big inhale, and we'll start to twist the torso to the left. So you're grounding down through that right leg, twisting your torso and looking over your left shoulder. If you want a bigger twist, left hand can place on the floor behind you, and you can look even deeper over that shoulder. Take the hand back, start to release yourself forward. Come into your seated tree so the left knee opens out to the mat. You're going to sit up nice and tall, reach the arms up, turn your torso so you're square over that right leg and start to hinge forward. If it's too much to have the hands up, keep them down. And we're going to hinge our chest forward so we don't lose the stretch. Now I didn't mention this on the other side, but if your left knee is really high and it's bothering you, put a pillow underneath it. So any part of the body that's lifted that doesn't feel like it's supported enough, prop it up with something so it has something to rest against. So push your chest forward, pull your arms back, lift your sternum. You can lower the gaze a little, looking towards the tip of your toes. You'll notice over time, the more you hold a stretch, the more you breathe, the deeper you're going to get. So let your body unravel when it's ready. Start to make your way all the way up. Bring both knees into your chest. I'm going to roll myself back, just nice and slowly, finding my way onto my back. Pull the knees into your chest. Keep the right leg into your chest and send your left leg long. So you're just going to gently pull this knee in. If it's too much to pull the knee, grab behind the hamstring and pull there so you're not putting pressure on the knee joint. You're going to roll that leg over to the left. Your left hand's going to go on the outside of that right knee, and you're going to reach the right arm to the side and look towards the right. Really amazing back stretch. I would recommend doing this back stretch every night. We'll come all the way back up, pull the knee back into the chest. Take the leg straight up. You can grab behind the calf or the hamstring and give that leg a little pull. The traditional yoga method would be to take your second and third finger and grab the big toe and pull, but I know that is not really available for most of us. So hamstring, calf, those are great places to hold. If it's too far and your leg's way back here, you could grab a towel or a strap around your foot and pull with that towel or strap. And then you're going to take your right leg, bend it like in that pigeon pose, bend your left leg, cross your right over your left for a figure four, and pull the left leg closer to you. Second round of glutes. It's so important to stretch your outer thighs and glutes. And then we'll release your right leg straight down to the mat. You can pull your left leg in, holding behind the hamstring, or if it doesn't hurt the knee, you can hold it right at the knee. Your right hand's going to go on the outside of that left leg as you rotate your torso. Pull that right knee to the left knee to the right. Reach your left arm to the left and look towards your left. Come all the way back to the center, pull that knee back into your chest. We're going to straighten the leg. This is where you're going to grab either behind the hamstring, behind the calf, or you can grab the second and third finger looping around the big toe and give that leg a stretch. Try to lift your kneecap and squeeze your quadricep to help release your hamstring. The hamstring is the back of the leg. Remember, if this is too far away for you, grab a towel and pull it towards you, or a resistance band if you've got one of those. Cross your left leg over your right for a figure four. Pull the right leg in with the hands behind the hamstring and give yourself that little stretch. Pull both knees into your chest. You can kind of rock the legs side to side. And we'll do one of my favorite yoga poses or stretches, happy baby. So you're going to bring your feet straight like to the ceiling, like you're making a footprint on the ceiling. Your hands are going to grab for the pinky toe side of your foot, and you're going to pull your knees beside you, which feels amazing on your low back. So you're pulling your knees down by your rib cage and pulling them as close as you can to the floor, and then you're going to rock side to side like you're trying to drop one knee to the floor and then the other knee to the floor. Just a little rock side to side. Good. Bring the knees back into your chest. Bring the soles of the feet onto the floor. Let your hands rest beside you. Go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to take a few breaths in our resting pose or in Shavasana in yoga. So I want you to find a reach of those arms beside you. So kind of extend the arms long. I'm going to roll one shoulder underneath me. So I'm going to kind of lift it and roll my shoulder back and down. Lift the other shoulder, roll it back and down. What that's going to do is just give me a little bit more space through my chest. And I'm going to lay here with my palms facing up. So my shoulders are rolling down and underneath me. I'm going to lift my hips for a second, tuck my tailbone, and let my whole back lengthen down. So I'm kind of articulating my spine, lengthening my low back, and resting onto the mat. Do that one more time. So you lift your hips up, you tuck your tail, and then you let your whole low back lengthen. Once your low back is lengthened, you can stay here, or you can feel free to take the legs straight out. For some of you, this may not feel good to have your legs long. And if that's you, bend your legs, bring the feet wide, and let your knees rest on each other like a pyramid. So your knees are resting on each other with your feet wide. So find what works for you, either knees bent, knees together, feet on the floor, or legs long, pinky toes reaching towards the mat with your legs kind of draped open. Close your eyes, let your whole body melt into the mat. And just give yourself this opportunity to sit in silence for just 3 breaths. After your 3rd breath, you're going to pull your knees back into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. We're going to roll to the right side of the body, reaching the right arm long, making a pillow with the right arm. And then use your left hand and right arm to gently step yourself up and back into a seated position. Just start where we finish where we started today. Cross your legs, take the hands to the knees, sit up nice and tall. Take one big inhale, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Do that 2 more times. Big inhale up, back, and down, and last one. And I thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.